Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge and welcome to another recommendations video. And I wasn't gonna film a video today, but I wanted to get one more video out of my hair because y'all have been so kind and this hairstyle hurt so much to get to because I did like sleep-in curlers and they hurt really bad. I know other ways to get curls like this, but I was like, I'm gonna film one more video while I'm still feeling pretty fly because tomorrow I will have to wash it and lose it, and I don't plan to put the curlers back in for a while. But anyway, nothing you need to know the full hair story, but I was really feeling myself today. I put a picture up on Instagram and y'all have been so nice about it, you know. It's a good way to give yourself a boost. Take a picture where you feel super sexy and just put it out there for everyone to make you feel good. There you go. That's a little self-care tip for me. So, as you can tell by the title, we are doing romances with big dick energy, okay? So, big dick energy means different things to different people. For me, I see it as it's someone who's very confident and, you know, they like there's this one guy on TikTok who always explains it that it's like, well, you walk and you're like leading with your sexuality in some way. So like you're leading with your dick when you walk. And I love this guy because he actually, he will do like shows sometimes where he wears high heels and he's already like 6'5" and he'll wear these heels that are like 5 inches and he's like, you can lead with your dick no matter who you are. Anyway, sorry, that was a side note. But point being that I have both men and women on this list because it isn't just specifically whether they actually own a dick as a piece of anatomy, but just their confidence and maybe a little bit of cockiness about how they are. And so I put together some recommendations for this. And so let's just go through them. And the first one, we're actually starting off with a woman who stole my heart from the first time she showed up, and that's actually going to be Anosette from the Hippos King by Draven. She does actually show up in both Radiance and Eidolon, but the Hippos King is her romance with our hero in that. And so she is actually a Kai. She's a Kai warrior. She is a the bodyguard to the queen for her cousin's wife for a good portion of the series. And then in the Hippos King, she's getting sent on a mission that I don't want to spoil it because it directly connects to the books before. But it's really fun because her and her hero, which I think we say his name's Saravek. Draven does some very creative fantasy names, so I think we say his name's Saravek. He has been saying that he wanted to bed her like from the jump, which is very odd because the Kai and humans, they tend to see each other as ugly and not very attractive. And that's kind of the whole like start of the series, is that Brishan and Ildiko, they are in a political marriage and they don't find each other attractive, but they become really good friends and then it builds from there. And with Anosette and Saravek, he's just enamored with her from the jump and she is just like, I'm too good for you. I would never sleep with a human. And then she really starts to think he's attractive and wants to take a bite out of him, literally, in some respects. And I just love her. I love her cockiness, her confidence, and she is ready to, like, she would take down anyone who gets in her way. She's a fierce warrior woman, and I just love her so much. So she really spoke to me for a character who has big dick energy, and I wanted to share her. Then we're going to kind of a despicable version of someone with big dick energy, and that's Calvin from Sam Mariano's book, Descent. This book it's basically rape, like it is. So you could argue that maybe Calvin doesn't have such big dick energy because he's needing to assault a woman to get what he wants. But my reasoning for it is that Calvin is a bit of a sociopath, a lot. And in the beginning of this book, he manipulates this woman who is the former girlfriend of one of his employees. He manipulates her into a sex club where consensual non-consent usually happens, but she is there non-consensually because she doesn't know why she was tricked into being here. And he has his way with her, as in he rapes her. And then he basically takes over her life and makes her his woman against her will. And so the reason I put him on this list is because he is so just like confident and powerful that he just takes what he wants. And, you know, like I said, we're going to look at lots of different versions of big dick energy. And to me, this is a version, and you could maybe literally call him a big dick for what he does to Hallie. I think it's Hallie in this. But I just found it fascinating. And something about Sam Mariano's books is you'll either love them or hate them, but you'll probably be fascinated by them no matter what. Like, you like won't be able to stop because they just fascinate you so much. Then I got another chick for you, and she's not on the cover of this book, but this woman is stamped on my heart, and I can't think of another gal who like hits big dick energy so well as Riona Griffin, okay? Raylan, he's in plenty of my other videos. He's excellent. But if we're talking about a girl boss and a chick who can kick ass and take names and who can make even the most hardened mafioso cower in their boots, and that's Riona Griffin, who is just living her life, working for her family law firm, keeping everybody out of trouble, doing her business, and then someone's trying to kill her. So she ends up getting sent a bodyguard, which is our lovely cowboy ex-military man, Raylan. And she just wants nothing to do with him because she knows that little smirk that he has and his little aw shucks ma'am attitude is trying to suck her in. And she's like, no, I don't got any room for that. I am a career woman. I have plans. I don't have room for all of this in my life. And, you know, she fights it. But what I also love about her is that she also is willing to admit when she's wrong and take responsibility and make sacrifices. And I think in romance, a lot of times we expect the men to be doing that because that's how a lot of ladies write it. But you know what? Sophie knows what's up. Sophie knows what's up, and she's gifted us with these powerful women who have their faults, just like men do, but also who are just strong, powerful women who just are epic. And Riona is a character that I just connected with so much right from the beginning, and I love her confidence and her badassness, and she's on my list, man. She's got the BDE. Absolutely does. Whew, I'm getting warm in here. We're stripping down a little bit. Bounce like a bounce. And we're pushing forward. Okay, next, I got another monster for us. I mean, here we go. I have Edin from Edin by Mayne. And Edin, he is probably the most lovable of these characters with big dick energy. And in the case of Edin, he literally has a very big dick. He has a big purple dick, okay? Not to be confused with the big blue dicked aliens out there. We have Edin, who is a monster. This is book 2 in the Monstrous, I think that's what it's called, the Monstrous series by Mayne, which I just devoured this month. Like, I'm all caught up. I'm ready for Moth to come out. I'm ready to go. Now, Edin, he is a mostly carefree monster who these creatures have like come through to Earth through a rift, and so Earth is kind of in like a post-apocalyptic situation since these monsters have come through. And his hero, this is a gay romance, by the way, his hero's name is Hunter, who is a soldier who's trying to get his friend back who has been stolen. And Edin happens to be there when this all goes down, and he rescues Hunter from falling in a pit and becomes his traveling companion. And Hunter wants to keep his heart hard and stony against Edin, but he just can't, because Edin is lovable and sweet and just wonderful, but Edin is a soft dom, okay? This is not spoken about, but those of us who are in the know, who know what a dom is like, you're going to pick up on that energy in this book, because Hunter, he's a big dude for a human. He's a big military dude. Very strong, tough, loudmouth, grumpy, all these things. But when things start to take a lean for the sexy, Edin is just like, I'm in charge now. You just lay back, let me take care of you, and I'm the one in charge right now. I'm the daddy, okay? I'm the daddy. He doesn't say that, but Edin is daddy in the sweetest version of it. And I just adored reading about Edin, and I was like, this dude is the embodiment of big dick energy, but in like a softer way than some of the other people we've said. But it's there. It's there. Also, he goes bare-chested and wears a kilt. He's pretty great. All right. Then I had to pick one of Kresley Cole's heroes. And though this was difficult, because a lot of her heroes have big dick energy, like they all do, I had to go with Ruin, the Dark Fae, who his job is literally to use his dick to get information. He is a spy, he is an archer, he is an assassin, but he is also sexual espionage, and he will fuck a nymph, okay? But he can't get too happy about it because all of his bodily fluids are poison until he meets Jo, who doesn't know what kind of a creature she is, but she is able to feed on Ruin. She's able to feed on him and not die. And so he's like, oh shit, this must be my mate. This is very inconvenient. I don't want to have a mate. But Jo is now fascinated with him and is not going to let him out of her clutches that easily. Yeah, so Ruin is basically just walking big dick energy all the time. Like literally has his bows and arrows. He's a magical archer and he uses his dick to get information. So like literally the nymphs fall over themselves to have sex with him. And that's not necessarily a happy thing. Like there's a dark side to Ruin about how he's come to expect himself to use his body to do things, but that's part of the journey, that's part of the adventure. But I really think he deserved to be on this list because of all of the characters in her series. I just really think that he really embodies this trope that we're dealing with. See if that'll stay up there. It probably won't, but we'll see how it goes. Next, okay, this is a throwback, but I wanted to bring this one up. And this is Priest from Confessions series by Ella Frank. So this series starts with Robbie, and then there is it Lucian's the second one? Julian's the second one, and then Priest is the third one, and then there is a fourth one in this series as well. But, so the series starts with Robbie, but I'm putting up the picture of Priest so that you see him. But this is a menage, and it's an MMM menage. And Priest is kind of the patriarch, the head of the dominance triangle in this relationship. And oh my God, he's so commanding and delightful. And the dynamic in this series, which was fascinating, I had read Ella Frank's Try series, which is like a 5-book series about this couple that was like a gay for you situation. And Robbie is like a background character in that series. And then at the beginning of Robbie, Julian, who is a celebrity chef and is married to Priest. They have been a long-term couple. They've been together for a long time. They are very interested in inviting Robbie to join their family. They are wanting to take on someone to complete them, basically. It's a weird situation to explain, okay? It's one of those. But Robbie doesn't really like Priest because he's very grumpy and kind of mean, Robbie thinks, but he really loves Julian. Like, he thinks Julian is just fine and he wants to do things with Julian. And so Julian invites Robbie to dinner with him and Priest. And Robbie is like, do I have to? And Julian's like, well, if you want to spend time with me, you have to spend time with Priest because we don't cheat on each other. Like, if we're doing something, it's all of us together. And so Robbie's willing to check it out because he's so interested in Julian. So, again, different kind of setup for this one. But Priest, this series, I was so drawn into the series. I read it so fast. Number one, because it was the first, I mean, it might be I think I've read a couple like novellas that have been 3 men, but I had never read 3 men together before. I never read this dynamic before. It's usually an MMF or an MFM or something like that. And so I didn't know what I was like entering into for this book. And Priest is such a caring man. He is stern. He definitely has a secret past. He has a lot of, you know, things that he's dealing with. But he is the ultimate like dom who's like a patriarch almost, where he cares so much for, you know, the men he's in a relationship with. And I love Julian and Priest's relationship, and then I love their reasons for wanting to add Robbie to their family. And it's a very interesting one too, because Julian also has some dominant aspects in him, but like Priest is like, he's like an ultra dom. Like that is really the only place that he fits. Whereas Julian is a switch, but he never gets to enact his, you know, his dominant side because he's in a marriage with someone who is completely a dom. So he's been the submissive for a lot of it. And Robbie is someone that they could both top together and who wants to be topped by both of them. So anyway, this ended up being me explaining the whole series. But my point being, like, Priest just stood out to me when I was going through, you know, my previously read books, and I was like, I haven't talked about this series in a long time, and I really would like to point people back to it again, because this was a series about the same throuple, and there was 4 books about them. We really got to know them all and to understand the dynamic between Priest and Robbie and Julian and Priest, and then who they are as a family together. And it was really beautiful. Like, it was really beautiful. But like, Priest is he is the cornerstone of this. And yeah, so I wanted to put him for big dick energy because the man tops 2 other men, and I just loved it. Like, loved it. And of course, there's some hot sex scenes, but there is also some deeply emotional things in here. Obviously, there's a lot of kinks in here. There's some like domestic kinks that are really beautiful, like service situations, as well as the kinky things you're probably expecting when I explain this. So, moving along. Then we have another chick to share. And this is a book that I don't end up recommending a ton, not because I don't enjoy the book, but I liked other books in the series more than this one. But when I was looking for more ladies who have big dick energy, I thought I would share Malone from Queen Takes Rose. It is Malone, right? Or is it Monroe? I get confused. Hold on. I was right. Okay, sorry. She also has a Monroe in a book, so Katie Robert messes with me. So this is a sapphic romance. It's actually one of like the only ones that I have read and absolutely like loved it. This is also the relationship in the Wicked Villain series by Katie Robert that has been drawn out almost since the first book. This one, you know, this is all of this series where villains get their happy endings, and so this one is like Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent. So it's Malone and Aurora, and Aurora is finally going to be Malone's like plaything for a while. And Malone is definitely like, she's a hard dom, and part of the reason I didn't like fully connect with this one is because of that, but also because of that she definitely fits into big dick energy, and she has an entire collection of toys and accoutrements to you know, punish and please Aurora as she has earned herself. And when I was thinking of heroines who fit into big dick energy, Malone is definitely there, you know, definitely there. Yeah, this was for me, like, it was bittersweet, I think, reading this book as well, because, you know, it wrapped up the Wicked Villain series, and this is my like signed copy too. I love it. So Queen Takes Rose, get you some Malone. All right, then we have Sebastian, or Bash, from Start a Fire by J. Wolfe. This now has a new cover. I still really like this cover, but J. Wolf like recovered some of her books with all that. So this one was a book that I picked up when I was trying to find things that kind of like reminded me of Untouchable. And this was one that it happened for me. There is a lot of like non-Connor dubious consent in this one. And Sebastian, he has a grudge against our heroine. I don't remember what her name is off the top of my head. I'm horrible. But it's all in her point of view. Dang it. Anyway, she's been gone from school for 2 years and she comes back, and Sebastian has like a grudge against her for reasons we're not completely sure what they are, and he's going to get his revenge, and a lot of that includes making her his plaything in a lot of respects. And I don't know, Sebastian just has that like confidence where in some awkward situations, like let's be, again, because I've said there's non-consensual things, he's completely in control, and he's like, you're not getting out of this situation until you do what I want. So you could do what I want and things will work out a lot better for you. That's not going to work for anybody, I understand, but I do have a type, and Carter Mahoney, Calvin, Sebastian, they are a type that I enjoy reading this kind of asshole every now and then, and you probably do too because you've been watching my videos. Or maybe this is your first one and then you're like, oh my god, what's happening? Can't help you with it. Then, this is a fun one. I can't tell you how much fun this character is. And it's Dante from the Anti-Heroes in Love duet. So it starts with When Heroes Fall, and this is When Villains Rise. And I'm holding this one because Dante's on the cover of this. And Dante, he grinds my gears, y'all. He starts my engine. He does all the things. I have never read a mafia boss quite like Dante. I've never read many of Giana Darling's characters who remind me quite like Dante, okay? He is so special in so many ways. Like, he is this gregarious, fun, full of life, physical touch, loving on the people in his organization, all those things. And then on a dime, he is the mafioso. He is the jefe who will just cut you down. I don't know why I said jefe. He's Italian, not Mexican, but you know what I mean. He's the boss that will cut it. And when he sets his sights on Elena, he is going to make it happen. Even though Elena, she herself could be on the big dick energy list, but we went with Dante this time. He goes about wooing this woman and winning her to him in just such beautiful ways. Like, honest to goodness, the way that he can see her hurt and see her pain and help her come through it in such a triumphant way. He has my heart forever. He has it. He owns it. It's in his hands. He's got it. He's fantastic. I know a lot of people are finally getting to this duet, and I highly recommend. Like, this duet is probably my favorite work of hers. Really, it is. And no shame about it. I love this duet by her. I like a lot of Giana Darling's works, as you can tell. But this stands above the rest for me. And then the last one that I want to mention, which I accidentally put away, so let me just grab it over here, is Heart from The Duke's Perfect Wife, because I realized I didn't put a lot of historicals on this one, and I meant to have Hart Mackenzie, who is the Duke. He is the patriarch of the Clan Mackenzie. He is trying to become the Scottish Prime Minister of Great Britain. He is working for Scottish independence, but like under the radar in certain ways, and he's trying to woo back his lost love from many years ago. He fucked up a lot in his past. He was cocky. He was sure that he could have anything he wanted. And he has been beaten down by a lot of those things, but he doesn't show it on the outside. On the outside, he is this commanding man. He is in charge. He is going to take Britain by storm. And then his lost love comes back into his life. And he'd been meaning to reconnect with her for years. Like, he wanted a second chance with her. But now she's just showed up and he's not prepared for her to be there yet. And he's like, oh my God, how am I going to make this work? He also has boudoir photos that have been taken of him, and he's being blackmailed with them by he doesn't know who. And Eleanor is there to help, because though things didn't work out with her and him back in the day, she is still friends of his family. And in fact, most of his family likes her more than they like him. But her and her father have fallen on hard times, and so she comes asking for him to let her have the job of, you know, solving this mystery of who is blackmailing him. And he's like, you know what? This puts her within my reach again. This could be great for me. So he does that. And the things that give Hart big dick energy for me are, number one, the fact that he was like bold enough to be taking boudoir photos back in, you know, whenever in the 18s. And I think this is in the 80s or something like that. 70s. I can't remember. But I know there's Queen Victoria. So sometime between 1840 and 1901. Okay, there we go. And he is just very confident in himself. He has a bit of a dominant streak. It's not fully fleshed out, but we know that he's enjoyed some of the pleasures of BDSM at one point. And he is just very, like, sure of everything that needs to happen and the order in which things need to happen. Now, he's not always right, but that confidence is extremely sexy. And him and Eleanor are such an interesting pairing, because she's kind of this, like, free spirit who is just chaos and joy, and he's very, like, stoic. So it's definitely a grumpy sunshine thing. But I wanted to throw Hart in there because I recently just reread this book, and I really thought that he worked for a big dick energy situation. So there we go. Those are some of the men and women that I think have some big dick energy. Let me know some characters that you think fit that for you. This was a really fun one to do. So yeah, let me know if there are any trope videos that I haven't made. But you should know that I do have a playlist that has over 170 recommendation videos, so definitely check that out. You might find something new to read. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and like this video, as it really helps me out, and I'll see you next time. Bye.